Hi, this is Chanda Dani from VMware. I lead vSAN product marketing. I'm talking to you live from Barcelona, VMworld 2017, and I have with me.
Awesome. Thanks, Adam. I'm Vivek Sharathi, Solutions Architect from Intel, focused on hyperconverged infrastructure.
Thank you, Vivek, and thank you for joining us here in Barcelona. How is VMworld going for you?
It's been great. It's been really great. Been meeting a lot of customers, understanding their insights on hyperconverged infrastructure, vSAN in specific, right, and how they see the market. Learning a lot of new technologies from VMware. So an excellent show.
Thank you. So Vivek, Intel has not been a traditional OEM partner for traditional OEM go-to-market partner for VMware. However, our engineering teams work together, our product management teams work together, your and my team work together. There are synergies all the way from the bottom of the stack to the top of the stack. Help our customers understand that as they think about adopting hyperconverged infrastructure, what is the value they can expect to get from Intel?
Sure. So if you look at the hyper-converged infrastructure as a whole, right, you have two combinations. One is the hardware, the other one is the software, right? Software, vSAN with VMware, that's taken care, right? From a hardware perspective, having the right hardware combination, right from a CPU aspect, from the right caching device in the vSAN, right, and the right capacity device is a very critical element in having a vSAN deployment successful. Right now, take this and imagine Intel and VMware working together, and we have been working on the engineering aspect to make sure that at day zero of the launch, both from a vSAN perspective and an Intel perspective, it's supported and it's optimized so that we can get the best value coming out of it, right? And there's been a lot of activities that's going on both from an engineering side and from a product management side and from the entire aspect in the vSAN, right, to get the best from both worlds.
Yeah, makes sense. So, Vivek, you know that vSAN is growing very fast within VMware. We announced we have 10,000 customers. We also announced we are acquiring about 100 customers every week. However, if we look at the vast install base of vSphere, which has 350,000 customers, a lot of customers that are currently using vSphere, they still have to adopt vSAN. So how do you think the technology that Intel is providing, how does it help our customers adopt vSAN in an easier way?
Sure. So if you look at the HCI, right, like what I had mentioned previously, it's a combination of both the hardware and the software, right? Having the right combination of hardware along with the right software is the key for any HCI deployment, right? So what Intel did was to show and to get the best hardware configuration for an HCI environment. Intel came up with the Intel Select solution. We recently launched that, right? And what that does is it basically gives a defined configuration to both the OEMs and the customers of a solution that's optimized and takes the best value that's coming out from the vSAN architecture, right? So it's not just a recommendation or a guidelines that Intel gives, right? We do that guidelines based on a lot of workload testing. Different workloads based on different environments that we think is the key, right? And it's optimized for that, right? Now take this, and along with the vSAN ready nodes, where the device has been certified and the entire configuration has been certified by VMware, right? That helps the customer to deploy a vSAN solution with the Intel architecture on day zero with no issues, right? So it should be a smooth integration of the vSAN deployment, right?
Thank you. I'm glad you brought up Ready Nodes. In fact, in our engineering team in vSAN, we have a team called the Ready Labs, which ensures that the Ready Nodes actually are set up for success in the field, and it puts Ready Nodes through a whole set of rigorous scenarios so that we can handle whatever scenario it is put to in the field. One last question for you. So there's a lot of talk about the 3D XPoint technology that you guys have and the Intel Optane SSDs that you have recently launched. So help our customers understand that when they decide to use vSAN, what they can expect from the Intel Optane SSDs that is now available and how they can benefit from it.
Sure. So if you look at the Optane device on its own, right, the Optane SSD on its own, what you see is performance around 500K from an IOPS aspect, both from a read and a write perspective, right? And from a latency perspective, you're looking at around 10 microseconds, right? Now compare this with the previous generation, right? where the difference in the latency was 10x. So now you have a 10x faster device compared to the previous generation. Take this device, put it in a vSAN architecture on the caching tail, right? Where all the writes come in, and as soon as the writes are done, if there's a hot read that needs to be done, it picks up from the same device and puts it out, right? Now, with an opt-in device in the vSAN architecture, right, and with the performance that you're looking for, and with the latency that comes out from that device, right, you're looking at an amazing performance both from an IOPS as well as the latency aspect, right? Two key elements. If you speak with customers today, their main is how fast can my storage work, right? And what's the best simplicity of implementing my vSAN, right? That's the two key things that they're looking
They have on their mind.
Exactly. Opt-in with the scalable CPUs, right? Scalable process from the Intel SSD, from the Intel technology, right? You get the benefit along with the vSAN 6.6, right? And that's the key.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, customers started using vSAN with use cases such as virtual desktop, disaster recovery, remote office, branch office. But what we are seeing is that a whole majority of them are now using vSAN for business critical applications in the data center. And whenever you think about business critical applications, the first thing on our customers' mind is performance. So I'm really glad that there is all this innovation coming on the hardware side, enabling vSAN to give the performance to our customers that they are truly expecting for these applications.
Exactly.
So that is really great. Thank you. So how has Barcelona been?
Barcelona has been great. Now, meeting a lot of new people here, a lot of new insights, and understanding what they're looking for.
Exactly.
And the weather has been awesome, right? Who can complain this weather? This weather and the amount of knowledge that you gain, it's been an awesome conference, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it does beat.